force outside of those two stars. It's really interesting. It's a team with frailties against a bad team with another superstar. So anyway, check that out. I like the Clippers in that series, and I like to be right. We all like to be right. We're all rooting for our own self-interest. So the Clippers have to win that game a little strong. They win that game, it flips the momentum so quickly. And they can. They were better. They were better for big stretches of the game. But Jokic is so good. All right, fun show. I am off the next few days because I'm doing the TV work, so I'm doing a bunch of that. I'll be back on Friday. Great fill-ins coming your way. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Rob Dibble. Good work by Jack Carty. I am Bill Ryder. Appreciate you hanging out here with us on the Infinity Sports Network. And somebody else, not me, we'll see you here tomorrow on Ryder Than You.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Spring into deals with fresh savings at Lowe's. Right now, get 4 Stay Green or Premium 2 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. Plus, get up to 35% off select major appliances and save $50 on every $500 you spend on select LG appliances. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate or Lowe's.com for more details or qualifying items. Excludes Alaskan Hawaii.
I'm Morgan Ehlers here with Brian Cook. He's the comptroller with Greenville Motor Company and Greenville Auto World. This time of year, the automobile business really starts picking up, and you guys have a tremendous inventory.
Yeah, we stocked up on over 30 cars this week after having a pretty good end of the February. We're looking to create opportunities for customers that are ready to buy this time of year, take care of all your automotive needs right here in Greenville at Greenville Motor Company and Greenville Auto World. Willing to earn your trust one vehicle at a time, one day at a time.
Greenville Motor Company and the new Greenville Auto World. Go online at driveherenow.com.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates.
Pirate fans, the East Carolina football season ticket campaign presented by Hamill Builders is underway. The Pirates are looking to build momentum off an 8-win season and that Military Bowl win over North Carolina State. Head coach Blake Harrell wants you to be a part of his first full season as the Pirate head coach. Season tickets can be purchased for as little as $115. Call 1-800-DIAL-ECU or go to ECUPirates.com today to get your 2025 season tickets.
Make things happen this year with a new John Deere. In just one visit to Quality Equipment, you'll find the right lawnmower, compact tractor, or Gator UTV that will save you time and money on your next project. Keep things running all season long with the help of our experienced parts and service team. Your new Deere isn't far away. Find current offers and budget-friendly packages at your local Quality Equipment with 36 locations across North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit QualityEquip.com to get started. That's QualityEquip.com.
Looking for your new favorite hangout? Come on down to Fish Street Hardware Restaurant and Tap Room in downtown Greenville, where the drinks are cold, the food is fire, and the fun never stops. Check us out every night at 7 for our special events. Tuesday night is Singo, Wednesday Hollywood Trivia, Thursday's Kahoot Night, and Fridays is Tunes and Taps starting at 7 p.m. Don't miss Yappy Hour, Thursday through Saturday, 4 to 7, where we serve up half-priced apps from the toolbox. Make sure to check out our new menu, featuring the taco wrap, North Carolina Cowboy flatbread, and Buffalo loaded chips. Check out our Facebook page for more information. Fish Street Hardware Restaurant and Tap Room, where good times are always on tap.
This summer, the Greenville Yard Gnomes are back at historic Guy Smith Stadium.
Hey there, it's me, Gnomeo, the Yard Gnomes mascot. You've heard of gnomes bringing good luck, right? Well, I'm here to bring you great baseball and tons of fun, too. We're excited to have a great team, including a few ECU baseball players this year.
Season tickets are on sale now, so visit yardgnomesbaseball.com to get yours today.
We'll have great food, cold drinks, and fun games for everyone. Come out and hang with your gnomies this summer and have some fun at the ballpark with us, the Greenville Yard Gnomes.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory of ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young Pirates to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking in downtown Greenville. Visit them online at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
I want some barbecue, some barbecue.
While you're sleeping, our whole hogs are slow cooking over wood to create that bite that Eastern North Carolina is known for. I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have been the torchbearers for what whole hog barbecue is supposed to be. At Sam Jones, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors. Everything, and I mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
Bostic Sugg, Bojangles, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Greenville Auto World, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into the Brian Bailey Show. We're getting you ready for Saturday's spring football game at East Carolina. Joining us first is the head football coach at East Carolina in his first spring as the Pirate head coach, Blake Harrell, the 23rd head football coach in East Carolina Pirate football history. The back half of our show today, our good friend Damon Magazu. He's the safeties coach at East Carolina. He'll join us to talk about the spring game as well as we get you set for our final taste of football until August, the spring football game coming up at East Carolina at high noon at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium this Saturday. Back with the Brian Bailey Show and head coach Blake Harrell after this.
It's bow time. Bojangles' new chicken rice bowl is built bold from the bottom up, with classic Bojangles flavor packed into every bite. Starting with a base of our signature dirty rice, we pile on even more flavor with Cajun pintos, then your choice of boldly seasoned grilled chicken or our iconic Supremes. Top it off with a sprinkle of cheese, and if you want to add some heat, add a dash of Texas Pete. Head to Bojangles and try the new chicken rice bowl for a limited time. It's bow time.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
Spring is a great time to plant flowers, trees, and bushes. When planning your landscape, please keep in mind that you should never plant anything within 3 feet of a gas, electric, or water meter. The same thing applies if you have an electric transformer in your yard, except keep plants 8 feet clear of the front in case crews need access during a storm or an outage. Always remember to call 811 at least 3 business days before you dig to avoid underground lines. This important safety message is from your neighbors at Greenville Utilities.
There's a common misbelief today that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue your rigid routine. Or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a Michelob Ultra with friends, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra, a refreshing and balanced flavor with only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Michelob Ultra, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989.
Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is announcing the Freedom of Choice pricing program. Washington Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has incentives up to $11,000 on Ram trucks, or you can choose employee pricing on a new Ram. Choose savings up to $9,000 on a new Jeep or employee pricing. It's Freedom of Choice pricing for a limited time in Washington. Visit WashingtonChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com and go see Kyle Gaines and the great staff on Highway 264 in Washington. Drive a little, save a lot.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Pirate Radio.
It is my intention to commandeer one of these ships, pick up a crew and Tortuga, raid, pillage, plunder, and otherwise pilfer my Weasley black guts out.
I said no lies.
I think he's telling the truth.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show. An exciting Monday for us. We've got Blake Harrell first, head football coach at East Carolina. Then Mags joins us, Damon Magazu in the second half hour. Blake Harrell, the 2025 champion for the second chance with the Sweet 16. Haven't had a chance to even tell you that yet. Coach, you've been so busy with spring football, but congratulations. You almost ran the table. You got the national championship game didn't go your way, but you won the big prize.
Well, thanks, Brian. That was all I was really concerned about was, how I did in that. That's been my main focus. So appreciate you letting me know.
I knew that was coming, but we figured we'd let you concentrate on football because you only have so many spring practices and that kind of thing. When you walk around at spring practice, do you still pinch yourself every once in a while and say, "Man, I'm the head football coach at East Carolina"?
Yeah, it's what a special opportunity and a special place, and just honored to be the head football coach and be a mentor for these young men and be part of our program, and just really is a great opportunity, and exactly like you said, you just walk around, pinch yourself sometimes, and really honored to be it.
We look back and we hadn't really had a chance to talk about this because when you're in the middle of the season, you have to do what's in the middle of the season. But when the coaching change is made and you're put in the interim role, the odds of an interim coach, doing as well as you did and getting the job full time, almost astronomical against you because it's just so many things have to go right, and you guys had some things that went right. But how hard was that for you to balance? I got to just get this thing done and get this thing to the next step, and actually thinking about, man, I could be the head football coach of this fine university.
For me, it was more about focusing on the day and the moment, and I knew if I would do that, our players have an opportunity to do that and a chance to do that, because we were requesting out of those guys to, hey, don't focus on December, don't focus on who's going to be the next head coach or the next opportunity you might have down the road. Focus on the most important day of the year, which was today or that moment. And, the first opponent was Temple, and just put all our focus on that. And I think that really kept you grounded and kept you in place. Is you only focused on what was right in front of you, and you didn't worry about the future, and you took care of business. Because if you didn't take care of Temple, you didn't take care of FAU, you didn't take care of Tulsa, the other opportunities never present themselves. So that made it the most important time of the year, which was that week. And that's kind of where our focus was, not only for coaches, but players and everybody in the program.
I can't tell you also, Coach, what a privilege it was just to kind of go on that ride with you. And that was a small part, but, doing the coaches show each week and checking in with you and going on the road on those Friday interviews and just kind of getting the pulse of how you were doing during that time. And the wins kept coming, and it's just it turned into a Cinderella story. And I think a lot of Pirate fans very grateful for you and being a part of this program and can't wait to see what the future holds. And then you go to the bowl game and you beat an arch rival like North Carolina State. So you've got it going. However, those same Wolfpack are on the schedule again pretty soon, aren't they?
Yeah, and first of all, thanks to you and everybody else out there who, my main focus was calling defense and getting our team ready to play, and I appreciate you helping me after the game, just telling me exactly where I should be and what time I should be doing it, and what we had next on the schedule. And Officer Brown was another one who helped me just guide me through those steps and kind of get me going in the right direction as far as, hey, you got to get to the boneyard to sing the fight song or whatever it may be. But yeah, what a way to wrap up the season with a big bowl win, and then we get to turn around and go up to Raleigh on August 28th and see if we can do it 2 times in a row.
Kenny writes in, he says he can't wait to see you tomorrow night, Coach, at the Two Rivers Ale House in downtown Washington. So that'll be an experience, won't it? Yeah, we're going down for the Pirate Club, doing a little watch party down in Washington. So fired up about that, doing a lot of different events and venues for the Pirate Club right now. I was in Charlotte a couple weeks ago when the baseball team played down there, and just really enjoying getting out and engaging with our fans and seeing those folks out there and celebrating with Pirate Nation and looking forward to the 2025 season. All right, let's talk spring football now, Coach. What's the format going to be for Saturday's game? 12 noon start at Dowdy-Ficklin. Well, if it's up to you, you're going to make sure it's nice and dry for us, right? I'll do my very best. Well, we're going to try to divide up and play a true game, play a purple and a gold team, and have offensive and defensive players on both sides, and play as much like a game as we can. Some of the kicking will not be live situations, but we'll have live situations, offensive and defensively, and then we'll try to go for put 15 minutes up on the clock for 4 quarters, and at some point we may let the clock just run so we don't have as many. It's not. We still have 4 quarters and still have a running clock and keep score and all those type of things. How has the spring been for you as far as just your first spring as the head football coach? You still there? Yeah, I got you. You got us? Yeah, it cut out for me. All right. Overall, it's been a really good spring, Brian. It's cutting out on our end, too, as well. I'm not sure what we got happening. Coach Blake Harrell in his office, the head football coach at East Carolina, as we get you set for the spring football game. Coach, you still have us? Yeah, I got you. All right. Me? All right, we got you now. You were just talking about what the spring has been like. Yeah, it's been a really good spring. We stretched it out over 5 weeks this year, went practice 3 times a week. Just to give us more days in between as far as learning and teaching and developing, and also developing in the weight room and strength as well there. So that part's been really good, and we're coming up this week in the final 3 practices. We'll go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday this week, and it'll be practice 13, 14, and the spring game will be 15. So I think it's been a really successful spring, developing some young guys and then kind of finding out guys that we can count on for the fall and develop some depth. So it's been really good. Talk about some of the players that we will see and maybe some players we won't see on Saturday. Let's talk at the quarterback position. Caton has played a little bit, thrown a little bit. Do you expect him to play at all on Saturday? Yeah, Caton, obviously had the surgery back in January after the bowl game on his wrist. Had a broken wrist during the season and is fully recovered. If we were playing, if it was August 28th this Saturday, he would definitely be playing. And we hadn't quite decided. We got him a series the other day. He's done some limited reps here and there of just, 7-on-7 or 1-on-1 reps or just some individual reps. But we also want to be cautious and make sure we don't, risk an injury the last day of spring practice for a spring game that's in some ways meaningless. Like I tell our players, the most important events and games coming up is next fall. So we got to make sure we're keeping, we're getting our work in that we need, but we're also healthy come fall. All right, Jake Garcia entered the transfer portal. What does that do for your quarterback room? We've got several quarterbacks that's been repping this spring: Raheem Jeter, Chaston Ditta, John David Black, and then Cole Hodge as well. So all 4 of those guys have been getting reps and quality reps there. So just kind of spreads a little bit more reps in between those 4 guys and reps they all need. Two freshmen in there, essentially 3 freshmen in there, and Raheem Jeter is not taking a lot of snaps ever. So those guys certainly need those reps. All right, go down to the running back slot. What do you like about your running backs, and when we see those guys on Saturday? Yeah, in the past you've known 1 or 2 guys in there. I think we were a little bit deeper in that room this year. Marlon Gunn is a name that played for us last year, got in the end zone for us last year.
London Montgomery's returning. I think London's playing really, really well right now and doing some things. If we were going to line up and take a kickoff, I think he'd probably be our guy back deep right now, doing a really good job in the return game as well. And then Parker Jenkins, a transfer from Houston, is looking pretty good back there as well. And then T.J. Engelman, who's a freshman, has took some snaps back there and shows that he can, when the ball's in his hand, he can make some plays happen as well. So we feel really good about the depth in that room. And I think we'll see all those guys in some limited capacity on Saturday.
I had a chance to see Engelman play a little bit at the scrimmage on Saturday. We were there for the second part of it, and he does. He looks really good.
He does, and just makes some things happen. And he's done a really good job this offseason of developing his body and getting himself ready to play and giving himself the best opportunity to go make a play.
With John David Baker, this offense may explode this year. I think that they all have a little smile on their face when they talk about it. And it starts, not only with the quarterback, with Caton Hauser, but with your wide receivers, with the Smiths, Anthony Smith, Yannick Smith, and you go from there. There's some quality in that wide receiver room.
Most certainly. I mean, Anthony's a guy that made big plays down the field and just got behind defenses all year long, continues to do that in the spring. And, at the same time, Anthony's going to be a senior. How many more reps does Anthony need in the spring season to get ready for the fall? The most important thing is we have him healthy going into the fall. So we'll probably see him a little bit on Saturday, but I don't know how many reps he really needs. Yannick is a freshman going into his sophomore year, had a really good freshman campaign. I think he'll have a really, expect big things of him coming into the fall, but for him, the more reps he gets, the better he gets with every single snap. So he's done a really good job of that. Jaron Waiters is another guy that, is a freshman going in his sophomore year, will be a redshirt freshman, and stepping up and making some plays, running with the ones and twos a little bit. And then we got several transfer guys. Jaquez Petaway from Oklahoma is playing in the slot, doing a really good job, showing that he's got speed and could fill that role, as well as Tyler Johnson playing on the outside. Keelan Robinson's back. Feel really good about him, as well as some other guys. Malik Leverett is a guy that's been around for a couple of years and having a really good spring as well.
Go to the offensive line. We had a chance to talk to Bryce Weaver the other day. He may be your starting center come the fall. Former Conley star, so it's great to see a guy like that who came in after watching Holton Ahlers and company do everything that they did. But how's the offensive line? Because the old coaching saying is that you have to turn 5 pennies into 1 nickel, and that's a lot easier said than done.
That is. And we lost 3 seniors, Dustin Hall, Parker Moore, and Hampton Ergel. All 3 have played a bunch of snaps and really good players for us and did a really good job, and just their toughness and experience. We're certainly going to miss that. I think we can be more athletic, and can be bigger on the O-line. We're just not going to be as experienced. You mentioned Bryce. I think he's really athletic up front. Just hasn't played a whole lot of football. So we got to grow those guys up in a hurry. Obviously, you got Emmanuel Poku, who was a starter for us last year. Jamari McCrimmon, who was a starter for us last year. Jamari's going to move over to left tackle and taking over that role there. And I think just getting comfortable on the left side as opposed to the right side is taking a few snaps for him. And then, right tackle looks like it could be Cooper Travansky, the transfer from Newberry right now. And he keeps coming along. He'll be a senior. So he is an older guy who's played, just not this level. And then inside, the other guard spot could be a Kyle Long, could be a Levy, could be a Panda Askew, those guys. And all have played at some point in some time in their career. I think Kyle played over 1,000 snaps at Maryland. But we just got to make sure we kind of find the right 5, find the right combination. And then, we're missing, Dustin Hall was a super tough guy, just hard-nosed in there. We got to develop those guys into that as well. So I think we can get there. We just got a little ways to go. And you expect that. Sometimes at the quarterback position or the O-line position, it takes those guys just a few more practices to get themselves ready than it may, a D-line. So we're getting there.
Continuing on with Blake Harrell, head football coach at East Carolina. I got a couple of minutes to go before we get him out of here. How about on defense? Obviously, when you think about that defense, you have to replace a lot of muscle on that defensive line, don't you?
Yeah, you lost Big Deontay Johnson. You lost Elijah Morris, Surad Ware, Jaden McKenzie. Several kids up front in the middle there that are gone. But I do feel good about the guys that we brought in, as well as the guys that we have returning. Zion Wilson and Preston Carr are two guys that's been around for 3 or 4 years now that are stepping up, making plays in spring ball. Justin Benton, a transfer from Houston. Ryan Rosenborough, a transfer from Towson, who's a local product of Greenville.
JP too.
Yeah, both making plays in there. So fired up about those guys. Raheem Craig and J.D. Lampley have both been limited this spring on the edges, so we kind of kept them out of contact. But it's given guys like, Josiah Robinson and Kieran Davis and Julian Davis opportunities on the edge to get more reps, and so it's been really good there.
We got to get John David Baker on board to get Ryan Roseborough over there in the backfield and like the fridge. But man, Ryan Roseborough, if he had $1 for every player he ran over at JP2 during his time as a running back, he'd be a millionaire.
No doubt, and he's done a really good job just kind of coming in, fitting the culture and fitting the locker room and going right to work, and you can see him get better with every single rep. So, fired up about his future as a Pirate.
All right, after the spring game, Coach, take us through the schedule there after you guys wrap it up on Saturday.
Yeah, so our guys start exams May 1st, I think Monday, Tuesday. Just kind of, we may do some wrap-up things. They'll have some voluntary lifts in the weight room, and then Wednesday will be the reading day, and then they go right to exams on May 1st. And, they'll finish those up. I think graduation's either May 8th or May 9th. And then they report back around May 18th for summer school. It starts on May 19th. So that gets going pretty quickly. So after the spring game, they'll get some downtime just to kind of recover, relax their bodies, and get their mind fully focused on exams. And then it'll be a quick turnaround, toward the end of May here to get them back and get back in the swing of summer training.
Summer training leads into fall camp, right?
It all runs together, and I think the report date for fall camp is like July 26th or 27th.
Wow, that's early, it seems like.
It is, and part of it's because you got a Thursday night,
right,
August 28th, and, you just kind of go back from there and get it rolling and get ready to ride. So it seems like it may be a fall sport in some people's mind, but it's definitely 12 months a year that these guys train and work and go at it.
Coach, anything else you want to tell the Pirate Nation about the spring game coming up? Again, 12 noon kickoff, Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium, our last taste of football until August.
That's right. Come out and support us. Come out and see the guys and get to know some new guys, new numbers. Had a few guys change jersey numbers around, and be a good opportunity to see those guys moving around and be back in Dowdy. And it's always good to be with Pirate Nation in Dowdy-Ficklin, our house, and we talk each and every day about the history of Dowdy and how we must protect that place. And a big piece of that is our fans and the energy they bring, just like they brought in the bowl game, and just like I know they're going to bring on August 28th. So thank you to Pirate Nation. Appreciate your support, and thank you for everything you do.
All right, it's head coach Blake Harrell. Coach, thanks so much for your time. We'll see you on Saturday.
Hey, Brian, thank you. And I look forward to that prize I got from that NCAA tournament there.
Yeah, we'll have to put it in a wheelbarrow and bring all the prizes over to you. But we got it.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Blake Harrell, head football coach at East Carolina. We'll take a commercial break right now on the Brian Bailey Show. Coming up next, our good friend Damon Magazu, Coach Mags, the safeties coach at East Carolina, as we continue to get you ready for the spring football game this Saturday. Back with more after this.
This is a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes. Carter Spivey pitched on Saturday for the Akron Rubber Ducks. He went 2 1/3, allowed 1 run on 2 hits and 1 strikeout. And Carson Wisenhunt picked up a win for the Sacramento River Cats on Saturday. It was his second of the season. He went 6 innings, did not allow a run, only 1 hit, and struck out 9 batters. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
It seems like places are giving you less and less food these days.
Yes, Mama, it's called shrinkflation. Oh, shrinkflation, that's just another word for robbery. But this is shackflation. What? Dang, that's huge. Extra pepperoni, extra cheese on that thing.
Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and get a shakaroni pizza for only $12.99. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates!
Make a fresh start in your home this spring and save at Bostic Sugg Furniture. Reimagine your space and save on fresh finds for every room. Save on a wide selection of the freshest looks and styles. Hundreds of items in stock, plus 6 months special financing. Save up to 70% off all clearance items. Start your better sleep journey this spring on a comfortable mattress with over 30 models to choose from with up to 48 months special financing. Spring into savings today at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
This is Brian Harris with 360 Golf Carts, Pitt County's go-to shop for all things golf carts. We have E-Z-Go, club car, and utility carts to choose from. Whether it's for the beach, riding around the neighborhood, or working in the yard, 360 Golf Carts has the perfect ride for you. If you have issues with your current cart, take it by my shop for an expert's diagnosis. From parts to sales to service, we have you covered. We will even deliver right to you. So come see me, Brian Harris, on Highway 43, just past D.H. Conley High School. 360 Golf Carts, Pirates supporting Pirates.
Pirate fans, the East Carolina football season ticket campaign presented by Harrell Builders is underway. The Pirates are looking to build momentum off an 8-win season and that Military Bowl win over North Carolina State. Head coach Blake Harrell wants you to be a part of his first full season as the Pirate head coach. Season tickets can be purchased for as little as $115. Call 1-800-DIAL-ECU or go to ECUPirates.com today to get your 2025 season tickets.
Talk radio. From the depths of space. The center. Outer space mumbo jumbo of the talk universe.
The center of what?
Pirate Radio.
We have prepared a planet with a suitable atmosphere.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Monday. Big Monday in sports here on The Brian Bailey Show. We had Blake Harrell, head football coach, and now we go with our good buddy Damon Magazu, safeties coach at East Carolina. Coach Mags, how are you?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Hey, I don't know if your ears were burning last week or not, but Rodney Freeman was on with us, and we were talking about some of the greatest plays in East Carolina football history. And guess whose name came up?
Well, I think Coach Freeze is trying to gas me up.
I told him when he said it, I said, man, Max has kind of got me on a gag order that I'm not allowed to talk about it anymore, that we have to talk about his safeties coaching job and what he's doing there. But it's always fun to go back and talk about that play as a freshman that you made it. And I was so thrilled that he brought it up, and it wasn't, me that brought it up. It was hilarious, actually, but still, one of the greatest plays in Pirate football history, and Damon Magazu made it as a freshman, picking off Russell Wilson in overtime to preserve that East Carolina 33-27 win. All right, I got it out of my system now. Let's talk safeties at East Carolina. How's your spring been?
Oh, it's been a blessing. It's been a lot of fun to watch these young men grow and become, better people and become better players, and that's kind of the focus. It's not so much schematically and all that. It's more so just making sure we become fundamentally sound and try to dial into the details. So it's been a lot of fun watching these guys run around and compete and, watch it in all three phases, offensively, defensively, and special teams, and bring juice each day.
Got a big night coming up Thursday, perhaps, maybe Friday for Savone Revel, who's a former East Carolina Pirate in that defensive backfield who did so many great things. Unfortunately, was injured, didn't get to play much his senior year. But I know you guys will be watching the Tube this week, won't you?
Yes, sir. We're going to be glued to that TV and obviously praying for the best for him and what his future holds. So we're really excited for the opportunity he's got.
I tell you, that's it's got to be just a tremendous, it's a great opportunity. But just thinking about, his future's ahead of him. He could go. I've seen somewhere around 15. I've seen late first round. I've seen early second round. But when you're thinking about that, and you're thinking about the money involved and the agents involved, and you're thinking about the future in football, I mean, that's got to be almost breathtaking for Savone.
Absolutely. There's a lot of moving parts that you already mentioned, and it's just an amazing story, and it's really hats off to him and the work that he put in and all the perseverance that he showed throughout his career. And Just proves that, if you want to go to the next level, you can do it here at ECU as long as you work hard and do the right things. And, we're really excited for him and the opportunity that he's created for him and his family.
And we've seen guys go from East Carolina football into the NFL over the years for sure. Let's talk about your room a little bit. What are you most excited about with your safeties?
I'm really excited about the continuity that we have, the depth that we're continuing to build throughout spring ball, and really the juice and the excitement and energy that our guys bring, not just on the field, but, the guys that are on the sideline, they're dialed in. And I think if you watch our practices or scrimmages, it doesn't matter if it's, the 1s, 2s, 3s, or 4s out there. There's a lot of excitement when somebody makes a play. And Coach Harrell says it all the time. When one of us makes a play, we all make a play. And just watching that excitement from the sideline and watching their, brothers be successful on the field, it's a great feeling to see that all kind of come together throughout spring.
We talked to Blake a little bit, and I took him back in time to last fall when the coaching change was made. He took over on an interim basis, and, just the odds of him being able to run the table like he did and become the head football coach at East Carolina, they're almost astronomical because it usually doesn't happen. But for you guys as assistant coaches who had already worked under Blake and knew the type of coach that he was and knew, that you were very comfortable with it, I mean, that was a trying time. I remember talking to you on the road, at least once or twice about, you just don't know what the future holds.
Yeah, you don't. And at the end of the day, we all got into this business to help young men, and we're very blessed to be able to do that. And so I think, that's where our focus was at the time, and it still is. But, we couldn't look at our individual future. I know we all have families that we got to take care of, but if we take care of our young men that are on the team, everything else will happen on its own. And I think, through that time, Coach Harrell did an amazing job of kind of setting that tone, keeping it positive and saying, hey, let's just go to work for these young men, especially those seniors, because they had no plans, no options after besides, going to the NFL and pursuing that dream. And so making sure that the focus was on those young men in the locker room to make sure we finished strong was, extremely important. And, our young guys and seniors did a heck of a job of just keeping their head down, going to work, but having fun doing it together.
And then going to the bowl game like they did, the military bowl. When you go to the military bowl and COVID is still part of what we were doing at the time, so you don't get a chance to play Boston College. But then you go back to the scene of the crime, if you will, and you get a chance to play your arch rival in North Carolina State. And I think that just the way the team prepared for that bowl game and being around them and just seeing everything that they were able to do to stay focused on the plan at hand. And they did a great job. And then whenever things didn't go so well in the middle of that, third quarter, early fourth quarter, even in the middle of the fourth quarter, to be able to come back like they did and get that win, I mean, that should pay dividends down the line, shouldn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime you got to overcome some adversity, whether it's in life or football, it gives you those tools to draw back on. And those men in the locker room, they obviously went through a lot of adversity midway through the season. And so I think they were able to kind of draw back on that in the game and say, hey, we just got to take it one play at a time, do our job. And when we look up at the end of the game, we'll look up at the scoreboard and we'll be pretty happy. And they didn't look too far out. They didn't look in the rearview mirror. They just did it play by play and, stay composed throughout those situations. So hats off to the young men just, doing their job one play at a time.
How big was that smile on your face after that bowl win?
It was extremely big.
I bet it was.
Yeah, those young men worked so hard, and all the adversity they went through to watch them, win that bowl game and be successful. I mean, that's really at the end of the day what it's all about.
Let's talk about some of the guys in your room and some of the ones that we recognize the names. Some of the names maybe we don't quite recognize yet, but we will. Take us through your safeties. Start with Tegan a little bit because we know all about him. He left for a year and he came back.
Yes, sir. So Tegan, obviously, as you know, just got back in January, and he's been a huge piece of what we're doing, especially from a leadership role. Overall, if you look at the safety room, we are a young group. We do have some experience back there, and so a lot of maturity with our young guys too. But Teagan's, a great example of, how to do things, handle them the right way, the extra work to put in, and between him and some of the other guys really rallying together and starting to kind of gel has been huge for us this spring.
Take us through some of the guys to look for from the boundary and from the field safety positions, and talk a little bit about the difference in those two.
Yeah, so the difference in the two from a schematic standpoint or really from a spatial standpoint, is into the field, you're playing in a lot more space. So you need someone that can cover a lot of ground. Into the boundary, you're looking at guys that are going to predominantly be a little bit more physical. Both safeties need to obviously be extremely physical, but that boundary safety is going to be in the fit a little bit more, no matter what coverage you're kind of in, unless you're in the post. But from a field safety perspective, you got Jamarli, Kamari, and Aiden, and all three have done a tremendous job so far this spring. Obviously, a ton of room to continue to grow on, but been very pleased with the progress, really to the field and to the boundary with Teague, Hines, who we call D-Money, and then the young and DJ Spear, who just got here in January. But the thing that I try to harp on with these guys is make new mistakes. I mean, we're never asking them to play perfect, and we know that's not, at the end of the day, really possible, even though that's what we strive to do. But if we're making new mistakes, that means we're progressing the right way. And so now we can coach new things. We don't want to coach the same player on day 1 of spring as day 15. And, I think we have succeeded in that throughout spring, making new mistakes. So it's been really good to see their progress.
Jamarli Riddle had a bunch of big plays last season, didn't he?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, he did. He started to settle down and get comfortable. He got here in last June. So once he got, settled in the scheme, he was really able to, showcase his athletic ability by just trusting his teaching and, really forming the habits that he could kind of display on Saturdays.
How about some of the younger players in your rooms and some of the local players, some of the guys that we had a chance to watch in high school?
Yes, sir. I mean, you got Omar Lewis, who's out at our nickel star position. He's been dual trained kind of at both. And then, we got some younger guys that were here on the team last year with Kamari and Aiden that are really coming along really nice. They've kind of built on to their communication a lot better, their physicality, playing with better angles, and really running the show. Because at the end of the day, playing safety, you got to be a field general back there. And so our job is to put everybody's mind at ease if there's motions or shifts or trades, things like that. So all the pre-snap communication, they've done a really good job, and we still got to continue to do a better job. But they've really progressed in that regard.
You got 1 week to go before the spring game. What are some of the things you'll work with your players on? You got practice Tuesday, Thursday, and then the spring game coming up on Saturday.
The big thing is just dialing into the details of fundamentals. I mean, the game comes down to, blocking and tackling at the end of the day. And the effort and pursuit piece is something that we shouldn't have to coach. And I think for the most part, our guys are running to the ball and trying to be physical at the point of attack. But to me, springtime is just really dialing into fundamentals of all phases of the game, whether it's run game, pass game, and eye progressions, footwork, hand placement. And so making sure that, they're really focused in on those details of the fundamentals.
On the recruiting trail, what are some of the things that you look for in a young player to play the safety position?
They definitely got to be able to tackle. They got to have a high football IQ and play the deep part of the field, whether it's half field or post. And then if they can play, man-to-man coverage on the slot. I think those are the big things that we look for from an athletic perspective. Obviously, got to have high character. You got to treat people the right way. And really, those are kind of the big things that we look for from an athletic and character standpoint.
You know, it seems like we talk each week with the coaches and talk about how things have changed with the transfer portal, with the NIL. But as far as just being on the field, you know, you're a safety for East Carolina. You in that defensive backfield. How have things changed from the way you learned and the way you were taught to what you're teaching now? You know, or has it changed all that much?
Well, I mean, it's been a long time since I played, so the game has definitely changed there, BB. And really, it's everything that we got to defend offensively. I mean, offensive coordinators and staffs are extremely creative, and so you're always looking at ways to protect the RPO. You know, which back in the day there wasn't really many RPOs, and so there's a lot of things that have evolved over time. That you got to kind of dial into and make sure from a schematic standpoint and from a technique standpoint, you know, you're teaching to protect those weaknesses in each given call. And so some of it has remained the same for a long time and probably will continue to. But that's something you just look at each off season, and as you talk to other people around the profession of what they're doing to kind of handle things in a given weakness of a technique or schematically.
When you were playing, did you ever have any idea there would be an NIL, there would be a transfer portal, that if you wanted to get out and go somewhere different, you could very easily?
I'd never expected that piece in college football, and you know, it just wasn't something that was on my radar, especially when I was that young and playing. But as you know, go through the as it has evolved over time, you know, I think paying players is the right thing to do, and you know, we just got to make sure that we continue to evolve with the times, make sure we don't fall behind. And I think all the support here from administration and the community, they've done a fantastic job of making sure that we're on the forefront and trying to stay ahead of all those changes. And so that's kind of the challenge, and as far as projecting where everything's going and try to stay ahead of the curve. But again, I think with the community and administration, they've done a fantastic job doing that.
All right, Coach Harrell says he's going to try to divide the teams up fairly equally. How about the coaches? Do you guys get divided up as well?
I'm going to try to run back and forth, me personally, unless Coach Harrell tells me to stay on the side, which I will then do.
that way you're guaranteed the steak dinner, right?
Say that again?
You're guaranteed the steak dinner. If you go back and forth, you can't lose.
That's exactly right. But I think for me, it's mainly just substitution-wise, make sure, you know, guys are being put in the right place. And because it can get a little hectic at times, communication-wise, if you're split up. But that's something that we'll decide as a staff with Coach Harrell. And, you know, whichever way he points us in, we'll run that way.
You talked about offensives changing so much. Does that John David Baker guy ever get on your nerves at practice?
Oh, no. Starting Zion now. So, I mean, the better that they become schematically and personnel-wise, the better that it makes us. And, you know, they challenge us a lot, and they force us to look at things in a different way from time to time and have staff discussions about, you know, whether it's technique or eye progression or leverage. And they do a fantastic job on that side of the ball that ultimately makes us better.
Yeah, and it's really, you know, like the sky's the limit for that offense, and we hear so much about it. And some of those offensive guys have like a little smirk on their face right now because I think they really can't wait to get started with the upcoming football season because they really haven't gotten to the ceiling as far as this offense is concerned. There's some great players on that offensive side of the football, and I would say in practice, you know, when you chippiness on the offensive line and defensive line is one thing, but those defensive backs and wide receivers now, they tend to go at it, and by the time, you know, fall camp is over, it's time to play a game because those guys are about ready to kill one another, aren't they?
Oh, they definitely are. Usually by the time you get to the end of spring ball, you know, they're sick of going against each other, and they'd rather, you know, go play another team. And like you said, at the end of fall camp, they're ready to go play somebody else. And so I thought, you know, so far as we finish up this last week going into the spring game, you know, all three sides of the ball, they've done a fantastic job competing against each other. And then at the end of the day, when we break it down, they have the understanding that, hey, we're all on the same team. And so having that competitiveness, that practice, that juice, and that fire to go against each other and win your one-on-one battle every play is huge, but it shows a lot of maturity at the end of each practice that, we're all walking out of those gates as one whole team.
And, a lot of your safeties and a lot of those defensive backs will be, stars on the special teams, won't they?
Yes, sir. That's a huge focus for us, not just from a safety perspective, but making sure that guys are huge catalysts on special teams, because that can really change an entire game, whether it's a starter in the safety group or the second, third, or fourth guy, and making sure that we have a huge impact on not just 1/3 of the game, but 2/3 of the game. So that's something that we stress a lot to our guys and in the ST drills and whatnot, to make sure that they're putting in the right work there and not just treating, special teams as, this is secondary to our defense. No, this is a primary job in the DB room.
When you think about the rest of the summer, take us through what the assistant coaches and Damon Magazu will do after spring practice when the guys go into, summer conditioning. You guys get a couple of weeks off, I think early July, don't you? Because once you get working again, it's 7 days a week, right?
Yes, sir. We will. We'll get time off in July, and my family and I, we usually spend all together down at the beach for 4th of July. So me, all my brothers, my sister, my mom, all of our kids, we all load up in one huge house for about a week and try to just relax. Now it's tough with all the little ones running around to relax a little bit, but we got Mimi there to kind of keep everybody in place and snap her fingers and make sure everyone stays in line, including myself.
Those little ones will keep you young. Hey, we talked about greatest plays in Pirate history. One of the unsung great plays that you made came last year when we got back from Army, and I got sick on the road. I had to spend an extra night there because I got dehydrated. And Damon Magazu, during the show on Monday, came in and gave me a big hug just to check on me. I can't tell you what that meant. It's just as a friend, our friendship together and just being on the road with you guys. And so many people were worried. I wasn't all that worried because I knew I was okay, but I knew I'd gotten into a situation that I shouldn't have. And I drink lots of water every day since then. But Mags came in all the way into the studio, didn't want to go on the air, just wanted to hug old Brian Bailey. That's another one of the great plays in Pirate history.
Well, I just wanted to make sure you were all good, brother. And Clip looked at me sideways like, what in the heck are you doing on air? And I'm like, you know what? Usually I'm respectful, Clip. I'm sorry, but I'm going. So, just wanted to check on you, brother.
It shows you what kind of security we have around here. I tell you that because there is none, but we certainly appreciated that. Coach Maggs joining us as safety coach at East Carolina. Coach, we promised to get you off around 12:45, so we'll do that. Thanks so much for all you do. Looking forward to Saturday in the spring game.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it. Always enjoy talking to you.
All right. Damon Magazu, back with more on the Brian Bailey Show for you coming up right after this.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Good news, business travelers. PGV and American Airlines has added a new early morning flight available now. Book today at aa.com and be on time for that connection in Charlotte. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American flights perfect for your next trip. PGV, where the Pirates fly.
Eastern North Carolina's Bourbon Authority is Greenville's premier American-styled restaurant. The Rick House specializes in handcraft dishes, and our bar features the very best in bourbons like Parker's Heritage, Knob Creek, and Jefferson's.
Big changes are coming to the Rick House. A new menu is on the way with great food, and it's the perfect atmosphere for a night out.
Let the Rick House host your next big event in our 2,000-square-foot banquet hall. It's perfect for wedding rehearsals, graduations, and holiday parties. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road in Greenville.
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of Pip Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 5-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growatpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. Pip, where business goes to grow.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
Big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
Big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers. Join us today for
Big, juicy wings.
All season long at Tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers, with 2 locations in Greenville and on Railroad Street in Winterville.
Get ready to run for a reason. Join us for the Raleigh's Army Fun Run on Sunday, April 27th at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Wildwood Park in Greenville. A day full of fitness, family, and fun, all for an incredible cause. Only $15 to register or $30 including a t-shirt. Whether you're walking, running, or cheering from the sidelines, every step supports local children battling cancer. Mark your calendar, grab your sneakers, and be a hero in your hometown. Register now at RileysArmy.com because no one fights alone.
I'm Morgan Ehlers here with Brian Cook. He's the comptroller with Greenville Motor Company and Greenville Auto World. When you're looking for a vehicle, say if I wanted a new truck in a specific brand, you have the capability of searching the entire country for that vehicle.
Right, we do. We can find anything you want. We take pride in it. A lot of friends come to me and get me to look for the next vehicle they want, and I take pride in buying it just like I was buying it for myself.
Greenville Motor Company and the new Greenville Auto World. We will earn your trust and business one vehicle at a time. Go online at driveherenow.com.
This is ECU head baseball coach Cliff Godwin, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show as we get set to wrap things up on this edition of the Brian Bailey Show. Again, the spring football game set for 12 noon on Saturday at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium, expected to go about an hour and a half. As Coach Harrell said earlier in our show, it'll start off with a regular clock, 15 minutes for the quarters, but they'll probably run that thing because they don't want to run a million plays in the spring game. And in the spring game is kind of, maybe a thing of the past. We don't know if this may be the last one because a lot of teams are backing out of actually having spring football games. But East Carolina's got one coming up at 12 noon this week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Our last taste of football until August coming up for the spring football game. Clip Brock joins us, and a big week for NFL fans because the NFL draft is set for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I like the way they do the format because the Thursday night is the first round, and those first rounders probably deserve all of the credit, all of the accolades on that first night, and then the second and third rounders. I mean, those are very important picks too, and then the rest of the rounds coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, I like how they do it. I know growing up, Bailey, they did it starting Saturday around noon or something like that. It was like Saturday afternoon, and it would go all day Saturday, Sunday. But I do like the way they do it now because Thursday feels like an event. I've got a buddy who has a big draft party, and he does draft prop sheets and makes a big deal out of it.
Oh, really?
It is something to look forward to. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, really. And it's so many teams have so. What are you guys looking at?
Yeah, I mean, you could all look. Commanders did a lot of their drafting during the free agency portion.
Yeah,
getting Debo, getting Laramie Tunsil, so filling in some spots there. Could certainly use some help in the secondary and on some defensive spots. But I still wouldn't mind another wide receiver as well. But I don't know if they're going to go that route. But that I'm interested where the running back from North Carolina goes. I've seen a lot of Broncos, but I've seen him tied with Dallas. I've even seen him, if he slips, going to Washington late. So he's going to be the second running back off the board behind Genty from Boise. But as far as Washington, it's kind of nice to go into it, Bailey, feeling pretty good about your team.
Feeling pretty good about your team.
Hey, man, I feel good. I'm excited.
I'm sorry. I had to go that route. I haven't felt really good about my team in a while. They find new ways.
Hey, you got a great head coach.
Hey,
Brian,
you know what? You don't know. You don't know if he's good or not.
I got a good feeling.
I feel good about my team. I feel good about my coach.
Yeah, I'm glad.
No, I hope that he turns out okay. I mean, I agree that it's not the popular pick, but I don't know what would have been with Jerry Jones in that situation. So I'm hoping that Schottenheimer has a different role. If he's got to come out and do different things, like he's got to get guys to be held accountable. He's got to get guys that, they can't commit so many penalties. And, if he turns that part around, I think he's got a chance to have a little success. But if he doesn't turn that part around, it's going to be the same old story.
It's interesting that Kellen Moore is coaching as a head coach now,
right,
but not in Dallas. I almost felt like he was maybe going to be the next guy.
I did too.
Instead, he's with another NFC team.
Yeah, so I think the Eagles have lost a little bit. I think the preseason polls will have the Commanders or the Eagles, probably the Eagles to win it, the Commanders second. But I could see either one. Commanders could be the pick, the Eagles second, Cowboys third, and the Giants bringing up the rear. So.
I'm a little nervous about not necessarily a Jaden Daniels sophomore slump, but Washington. Hell, we don't make the playoffs a lot, but Bailey, they haven't gone back-to-back since, Joe Gibbs in the 90s.
Man.
So it's been a long time since they've gone to the playoffs back-to-back years.
Man, and what fans, I don't think, realize, all it takes is a couple of injuries, especially in the interior defensive line or the offensive line that you don't hear a lot about, but all of a sudden you see what can happen. And if Jaden Daniels is back there running for his life all the time, then he's not going to be as effective as he was last year.
Yeah, and as Jared likes to point out, we're going to face a much tougher schedule. We're not going to be able to eat on the Titans and Panthers and rookie quarterback Bears like we did last year. They really had some easy win. Browns. So that's going to be different this year.
Yeah, it will be. Well, we'll see what happens. All right, let's take our final break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show for you coming up after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Parker Bird for my friends at Shimmer Boutique. New spring arrivals are here from all your favorite brands like Kinder Scott, Yeti, Local Boy, Pimp Shrimp, Simply Southern, and a lot more. Shop now at shimmerboutiqueonline.com and receive free shipping on all orders over $100. And don't forget, Shimmer is your place to get your very own Parker Bird shirt, available in youth and adult sizes. Shimmer in Greenville, Winterville, Jacksonville, and ShimmerBoutiqueOnline.com. Go Pirates.
Tired of the same old gym routine? Rebel Fitness is here to change the game. Whether you're throwing punches, kicking it in kickboxing, or mastering MMA, we bring the heat with specialized group classes that make fitness feel like a fight you actually want to win. At Rebel Fitness, we're not just about lifting weights, we're about lifting spirits. Join a community of badasses who are rebelling against the norm and crushing their fitness goals. Sweat, lift, move, fuel, fight for a healthier, happier you. Rebel Fitness, where fitness meets fun. Join the movement today. Visit us at 3700 Charles Boulevard or visit rebelfitnessnc.com.
Is your office printer on the fritz? Don't wait days for a repair. This is Walker Allen Volova with CopyPro, where we promise fast 3-hour service on all of your copy equipment. No need to press 1 for English for an overseas service line. All of our calls are answered right here in Greenville. Plus, we offer a free office printing analysis to help you cut cost and boost efficiency. We'll show you exactly how to save money on ink, toner, and energy. For reliable, fast service, call CopyPro today at 1-800-682-6558 and see how we can help your office run more efficiently. CopyPro, fast service, smarter printing, bringing more value to your business.
Hey buddy, it's me, your foot.
What? Are you okay?
Not so much. These old shoes are killing me.
But I've had these for years.
Years? I've been stuck in these things and now I'm screaming. You need custom fit shoes, my friend. And we're not talking one size fits all here. You need comfort, support, and most importantly, freedom.
Well, how do I get that?
Head over to Fleet Feet. They'll make me feel like $1,000,000 and keep you running strong.
Fleet Feet at the Old Gordon's Golf location on Arlington Boulevard. They custom fit every shoe for your unique foot. Visit Fleet Feet and step into comfort. Your feet will thank you.
You've had your new computer a few years now, but lately it's been running super slow, acting strange, and you're worried about viruses and losing data.
This is driving me mad.
Let the experts at University PC Care in Greenville and New Bern professionally diagnose your Mac or PC to see what's really going on. They'll determine the root cause and not just symptoms, so you don't waste money fixing the wrong issues. Call 252-558-1280 for in-store or remote service, or make an appointment online at universitypccare.com.
Warm up with our winter savings at the Beaufort Hotel. Plan your winter escape and save up to 20% off. The premier vacation destination on the Crystal Coast is nestled on 10 acres and overlooks the Rachel Carson Reserve, home to 30 wild horses. Discover why Beaufort was named the best small town for adventure by USA Today when you stay at the Beaufort Hotel, where your Outer Banks adventure begins. Visit BeaufortHotelNC.com or call 252-728-3000.
This is Coach Blake Harrell for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show as we wrap up this edition of The Brian Bailey Show. Next week, we'll wrap up spring football at East Carolina. We'll also take a look at the Down East Bird Dogs. Their season opens the first week of May coming up, and that's just around the corner. So we'll talk a little Down East Bird Dog baseball and the Pioneer League. Cliff, have you checked out the Pioneer League at all? Have you seen anything of who they play and where they travel to?
I can give you one nugget. Danny Beal will be pitching for
Danny
the
Beal.
I believe I also heard they'll be going up into Canada.
Yes,
Ottawa maybe.
They open at home with Ottawa, and they go into Canada. I think it's in July. I think I looked at the schedule. I don't know how they afford to do everything they do.
He said they had to take a bus ride to Montreal.
Man,
I would not.
You better have the iPad charged up fully, because that's a long bus ride. I don't see how the Pioneer League makes it financially with some of the road trips that they have to make, but we'll talk to those folks coming up later on. And I know Cam and everybody at Bojangles are big sponsors, and there's a lot of money in there. You know, it's great that Kinston can keep professional baseball, because they've worked very, very hard to get professional baseball there, and it was just a shame that they lost their franchise. But the Pioneer League is a partner league with Major League Baseball, so we'll see what happens with that, and we'll see how Danny Beal fares with those Bird Dogs.
Trying to do what Carter Spivey did, go from one of those independent leagues to minor league baseball.
Yeah. And, really it just takes a couple of really good outings to get looked at, and then all of a sudden you get a chance to do just that. So we just wish Danny Beal the very best of luck, and we'll talk Down East Bird Dog baseball coming up in the next week or two. All right, I want to thank our guest today, Blake Harrell, head football coach at East Carolina. You'll see him coming up with his first spring game Saturday, 12 noon at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium. Also want to thank our good friend Damon Magazu, the safeties coach at East Carolina, for being on with us. That is the Brian Bailey Show this week. Have yourself a great sports week, and we'll see you back here coming up on Monday.
This has been the Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Bostic Sugg, Bojangles, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Greenville Auto World, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
Join us next week for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, right here on